2025 is the year of the book. This is the year that I'm finally going to crush all my reading goals. Every year I say I'm going to do it, and every year I fail. This is it. This year I'm finally going to read 12 books. Let's go, boys. It's your boy, Jay, and I know what you're thinking. Jay does not look like a reading guy. Is this guy a reading guy? There's no way this guy's a reading guy. This guy doesn't read. There's no way this guy reads. Come on, this guy doesn't read books. I know that's what you're thinking, and to be honest, you're right. I work in a factory. I don't really have a lot of time to read. I do audiobooks sometimes, but I mostly just listen to podcasts at work. But this is the year. 2025, things are changing. I'm setting goals. I'm crushing goals. Things are changing. And one of the main reasons is because I'm actually laid off right now. So I got more free time than I know what to do with. It's got to be it. This has got to be the year I finally crush my reading goals, and I think I'm going to do it. Something different happened this year. All right, let's talk about 2024. 2024 did not go as planned. Last year I decided, hey, I set the same goal last year. I said, hey, I'm going to read 12 books. And I even kind of cheated. I went through my shelf and I found some of the smaller books I had because I thought maybe if I started off small and got through a couple of books, that would really gain me some momentum and I'd be able to really crush my reading goals. So literally last year I started with this bad boy, The Call of the Wild. This thing's like 100 pages. I finished that one, got it done. Then I went on to the next one, Animal Farm. Great book. Again, like 100, 150 pages. 100 pages, got it done. I was killing it. Things were going pretty good. Then I got out my favorite book, The Old Man and the Sea. I don't even know if you can call this a book, though. Again, 115 pages, easy read. Things were going good. I was down 3 books. I was killing it. Started watching some YouTube, found a guy telling me I should read more classics. So I heard about The Picture of Dorian Gray. A classic book. It was okay. I made it through. It was not easy. It took me a while to get through it. This was a real big boy book. It wasn't a big book, but for me it was big. It's like 230 pages. That was a lot of pages for me. 230 pages is a lot. So I got through it, and I did not love it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was going to be better, to tell you the truth. But I made it through. And then I got to this book, George Orwell, 1984. This is a book I wanted to read for a long time. I thought it was going to be really good. And it was pretty good. But then it started to get warm out. I started reading less. And it takes me a really long time to read a book. So I got maybe 20, 30 pages into this thing. I think the bookmark's still in it, actually. Let me check. 36. I made it to page 36. That's terrible. And this is a book I liked. And I just gave up. I didn't read another thing for the rest of the year. So what am I going to do? I mean, I want this year to be different, right? So I decided that's it. 2025, we got to do it. We got to stop messing around, boys. I mean, the real question is, why do I even want to read books? I mean, if I'm not enjoying myself, why would I even keep doing it? I mean, here's the thing. I'm getting older now. I'm 42 years old, which sucks. I'm getting old, you know. My back's starting to hurt. I'm turning into an old man. And there's all these books I've been hearing about my entire life, and there's books I've always wanted to read, and I'm starting to realize that the years I have left in this world might not be enough for me to read all the books I want to read. But I can't get them in. So I decided I got to do it. This is the year. I got to set a goal, and I got to read some of those books that I've always wanted to read. I know what a lot of you are thinking. If I couldn't do it last year, I'm probably not going to do it this year. It's just going to be another reading goal that I set and I don't do. But I think this year is going to be different. And the reason why is I finally read something that was good. I read something that blew me away. I couldn't believe how good it was. We're going to get to that when I go through the books I want to read this year. But I got a problem too, is now that I've read that, I don't know what to read next. I got this huge pile of books I want to read, but I don't know what I should read next. Let's get into it. Let's go through some of these books I got here. Because this year I really do want to read 12 books. And I'm going to need your guys' help. You got to put some stuff in the comments. You got to help me out. You got to help me find 12 books that get me as excited as the second book I read, because it blew me away. But I don't know. Let's just get into it. I want to talk about it. I want to talk about what I read and how things went. Let's just get into it. I mean, it's the middle of February, and I'm already down 2 adult books, which is impressive for me. I know for most of you out there, you guys read 6 books a week. I see your YouTube videos. You guys are like, hey, here's the books I read this week, and it's like 37 books. I don't know what you guys are doing, but whatever. Let's get into it. So, one of my favorite genres to read is definitely sci-fi. I like sci-fi shows, so of course I'm interested in sci-fi books. I hear about them, and I want to read them, but I never get through them. So I decided this is the year. I went and I watched a bunch of YouTube videos on a bunch of guys on what their favorite sci-fi books are. And the one book that kept coming up and sounded the most interesting was the first book I read this year, Neuromancer by William Gibson. Every single YouTube video I watched was talking about how great Neuromancer was. It's the greatest book. It started Cyberpunk, which I love Cyberpunk. I love that game. I play it all the time. I was like, this is it. This has got to be the book. This has got to be the book I read. I found it. Let me tell you. This book sucks. I don't even know what the hell I was reading. I read that thing probably almost every time I read it. I would get to the end of a chapter and I'm just like, what the hell is even going on here? I couldn't follow it. I found it really hard to follow it. I didn't know what was happening. It could be because I'm stupid. I don't know. I'm not very smart. But I couldn't follow the thing. And I love Cyberpunk. I love the genre. I love anything tech related. I couldn't do it. All you guys out there telling me, read this book. It's so good. Oh, it's one of the greatest books ever written. It's the top 5 sci-fi ever. This book sucks. I mean, I struggled to even finish it. I was like, oh no, I'm never going to get 12 books this year. This is supposed to be one of the best and it's terrible. I don't know, guys. I couldn't do it. I just thought it was terrible. I couldn't follow it. It wasn't, everyone says like, oh, it has a lot of techno jargon in it and that's why it's hard to follow. That wasn't it. It was the story. I couldn't even tell what he was talking about. I couldn't tell when they were like in the real world and in virtual reality and if these people were real or these were online people. I couldn't tell what was going on. I found it to be the worst book I ever read in my life. And I don't know. I don't even know how to rate it because I thought it was so bad. But then something real crazy happened. I watched a couple videos on a different book. And I went on Amazon and the entire set of this book was on sale for a really good price. So I went and I bought it. And this is what happened here. Red Rising. I mean, this book. This book blew me away. It was so good. I mean, it's a hardworking guy who gets, screwed over by the rich people and he decides he's not going to stand for it. And the whole story and some of the scenes in it just blew me away. I remember putting the book down after a particular chapter. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it was when he decided what was fair punishment. We'll say that. That was the chapter where I put the book down and I was just like, oh my God. Like, this is insane. I was disappointed that I don't have any friends who read so I could call them and talk to them about how crazy it was. It blew my mind. How is this not a show yet? It was insane. I think this saved the year when it comes to reading books because after this book, I was like, man, I want to read more books. This thing had me so into it. I've never been as into a book as I was into this, and it got me really excited to keep reading more books. I finally found a book I love. This thing's amazing. But then it put me in a weird spot because I had my list of the 12 books I was going to read this year. And none of them were part 2 to this book, and I want to read that so bad now. So again, I need your help in the comments. Should I keep reading through my 12? Or should I read part 2 of this? Because this was so good. I can't believe how good this was. God. So anyway, let's go through the rest of the books. These are the rest of the books I have on my list that I want to read for the rest of the year. I want to get through all 12 of them. And to be honest, I think there's more than 12. We got like 16 books here. I need your guys' help to tell me which ones are going to be like Neuromancer and just don't even waste your time on them, because everyone told me how good that book was, and it sucked. Okay, let's go. So first, I love Cyberpunk. I really want to read more Cyberpunk books, even after Neuromancer. I still want to read more Cyberpunk. So I went out and I bought this. It's no coincidence. It's an actual Cyberpunk book based on the game, and I love playing the game. So this one, I really don't know anything about it. It's something to do with a heist. But this is on my list. I think this one might be next. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we read this one next? I don't know what to start next. But this is one of those books that I just got because it's Cyberpunk 2077, and I love that game. So I grabbed it, put it there. That's on the list of 12. Hopefully I'm going to read that soon. Next one I bought, well, I think I already had this one, Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. Now this is a book I have wanted to read for a very long time. I watched a lot of sci-fi TV shows, and everyone in sci-fi is always talking about this world. They'll be like, oh, it's kind of like a Brave New World, and I've never read it, so I never understood the reference, and I really want to read it. It's not too big. I think this is going to be a good one. It's sci-fi. I think I'm going to like it. Hoping to get through that one. Should be good. Okay, what do we got next? Put that there. Next one, my nemesis. The one I DNF'd. I could not finish this book, 1984. But it's dystopian future. It's my favorite type of shows and movies to watch. So I really think I'm going to like this book. I'm hoping to get through it again. I hope it's not going to be a slog. I hear it's a great book. I really want to read it. I've wanted to read it forever. Everybody always talks about it. It's one of those books I just always wish I knew what everybody was talking about. I know the Big Brother thing comes from here and the government spying on you, and I really just want to watch this book, read this book. I think it'll be good. Okay. Next up, Snow Crash. This book has me terrified because this book is on all the exact same lists that Neuromancer was on. Everyone talked about how great it was, so I'm a little worried. But it sounds like a great book, and again, it's cyberpunk, and I love that cyberpunk genre, so I think this is going to be good. Now, another book, I saw this kid on YouTube talking about it. What was his name? I think I wrote it down somewhere. Let me find this kid's name. Smitty1423. Smitty1423. Good kid. Watching this guy's videos, and he talked about this book, Andy Weir's Hail Mary Project. And the way he talked about it, it made me want to read it. He just kept saying how great it was, and it just got me excited about it and got me wanting to read it, so I got it. It's on the list of the 12. Hopefully it's good. Let's put it over here. Next, this is one everybody talks about. Jade City. This is more like a fantasy novel. But when I heard them talking about how it's like an Asian Godfather with a little bit of magic involved, and I'm not big on magic in books, but the Asian Godfather thing sounds awesome to me. I'm really looking forward to reading this one. But again, this is the beginning of another trilogy. And I just started Red Rising, and I kind of want to read the rest of those books because they're so good. Well, the first one was so good, and I hear the other ones are better. That's the crazy thing. Oh my god. But anyway, I really do want to read this book. It's a bit of a bigger one. It's gonna be tough for me. It'll be a big one. But I really do want to read this one, so I'm very excited for that. Hopefully that's gonna come up soon. You put it over here. This one's a little different. This one is Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I definitely pronounced that wrong. Let me look through my notes here. I wrote down, there's a YouTuber who never shuts up about this book. Ryan Holiday. This guy Ryan Holiday has a YouTube channel about stoicism, and he talks about this thing all the time. And it made me want to read it. So, I'm going to do it. It's thin. It's small. 160 pages. Should be easy to get through. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping it's good. I know it's just like a man's diary. It feels kind of weird reading a dude's diary, but hopefully it's good. Okay, this next book is interesting. This is The Catcher in the Rye. This is one of those books that everybody always talked about. I never read this. I never even read it in high school. But it's one of those books you always hear people talking about and how good it is. And because I never read it, I just wished I was one of those people that had read it and knew what the hell they were talking about. So I'm definitely going to give this one a read through. It's definitely on the list. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Because, let me tell you, I know some of these are going to suck. I just know it. Okay, this one, Cormac McCarthy, No Country for Old Men. Again, highly rated. Everyone talks about how great this book is, and I love the movie. I think the movie's great. The Javier Bardem scene where he makes the guy in the store flip the quarter, I mean, crazy. Can't wait to read it. I know Cormac McCarthy did some pedophile shit. He was like dating a 14-year-old or some shit, but I don't care. I'm just reading his book. I'm not hanging out with the guy. So, excited to read it. I think it'll be good. Hopefully. I mean, the movie was great. How bad can it be? Excited for that one. Next, Stephen King Misery. I don't know if I'm going to like this. I don't even like scary movies. But everyone talks about how great Stephen King is. I figure I got to read one of his books. Guy at work said this is one of his best books. I guess I'm going to read it. I mean, I'm thinking maybe I should start with some Stephen King, some sci-fi. There's the Long Walk one, and then there's like the Under the Dome one. I've been thinking about maybe reading those, but I looked at those and they're giant, thick books. I ain't ready for that yet. I ain't ready to throw up those kind of books, but hey, it's on the list. See if we get her done. Let's go. Next, this is another book I always wanted to read. Lord of the Flies. This is a book that I saw the movie when I was a kid, and I was like, I should read that book. And since then, I kept telling myself, I'm going to read that book one day. I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it. And I never read it. Now I'm 43 now. I'm sorry if I swear. I swear a lot. I'll try to bleep them out or something. I don't want YouTube getting pissed off at me. But yeah, Lord of the Flies. It's a book I've always wanted to read. Everyone knows what it's about. It's like a plane crash. Bunch of kids on a deserted island. They kill the fat kid. Everybody knows the story. Book I've always wanted to read. Can't wait to get to it. Putting that on the list. Next one on the list. This is interesting. Philip K. Dick. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? I listened to a little bit of an audiobook of this while I was at work. It's not what I thought it was going to be, because I heard this is the story they made, what's that fucking movie? Blade Runner. They made Blade Runner. Blade Runner is supposed to be based on this book. It ain't based much on this book, I'll tell you that much. The first little bit I heard on the audiobook was nothing like Blade Runner. So, again, this is one of those books. It's a classic. Everybody talks about it. I got to read it. I got to see what's going on. I got to see what it's about. So here we go. It's on the list. Now, the next one is one I'm very unsure of. I really need your guys' helps in the comments. I know you book guys are at all these. You guys read 1 million books a week. You're robots. This is the Odyssey by Homer. I was told by one guy... So there's 2 books. There's the Iliad and the Odyssey. And somebody told me the Iliad is like the movie Troy, and this is the journey home after Troy, or something like that. But they said it's very good, very action, and that I was really going to love it. I love the movie Troy, and that's why it was recommended to me. But I don't know. You guys are read it. Let me know. If I'm wasting my time on this thing, please let me know. I don't want to read this whole book and think it sucked like freaking Neuromancer. I can't get over Neuromancer. All you guys said it was great. It sucks. Come on. You gotta be kidding me. This stuff is freaking crazy. Spend all this time reading it. It's terrible. Anyway, back to the Odyssey. I heard it's good. It's action. I heard it's something I'm really going to enjoy, so I'm looking forward to it. It's on the list. How many we got? Let's count them. I do know how to count. Okay, I fucked up. 3, 4, 5, 6. So in all total, I already read 2, and we got 13 more. So that's 15 books. My goal is 12, but I also want to read the rest of those Red Rising books. The first one was so good. I love this book. The first one of this is so good. I can't read. The Godson or the Son, I don't know. I don't even know the name of the next one. But it's so good. I can't wait to read the rest of that. But, yeah, I need your guys' help, because I know some of these probably suck. Some of these are probably like Neuromancer, which is one of those things where everyone says it's good, but no one ever reads it. I really need your guys' help. Help me put these in order. What should I read next? Help me decide what order I should be reading these in. If there's something else I should be reading, if you think some of these are not going to be good, let me know. I do not want to waste my time because as encouraged as I was by reading Red Rising and how much I wanted to read more, I think a really bad book could do the exact opposite and just throw this challenge off and make me not want to do it. But obviously, 12 books is pretty simple. It's one book a month, right? I mean, that's basic. And we're in the middle of February and I'm already done 2 books, so I'm killing it. If I get one more done by the end of February, that means I'm up 3-2. Can't wait. Let's go, boys. Looking forward to these. Anything else I wanted to talk about? Let's check. I wrote a paper here, so I'd see what I wanted to talk about. Make sure I had everything. It's crazy. Oh, Jesus. I forgot the last one I want to read. I didn't even bring it up. It's downstairs. Give me a second. All right, I'm back. I went and got the other book because I didn't want to leave this one out. It's Dune. The movies are great. I even like the old movies. This is a series, a movie I liked my whole life. I love the Dune movies. Even the old one, it's kind of wacky and a little bit terrible, but I still love it. And then the new movies came out and they were unreal. They were so good. I thought they killed it. This is a book I've always wanted to read. Everyone tells me how great it is. Everyone tells me you gotta read it. It's number 1 on like everybody's list. But it's a big book. It's a chunky boy. It's like 660 pages. It's like 3 of the books I've been reading. This is big. So I'm going to save this for a little later in the year. Hopefully at that point I got 7-8 books under my belt and this doesn't seem too intimidating. Right now this seems like a big book. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it done. But again, I'm going to add it to the pile. Right there on top. These are just books I've wanted to read for most of my life. And some of them are just books that you guys have told me were unreal and that I need to read them. And because you guys were right with Red Rising, I mean, it was a YouTube video that recommended that to me and it blew me away. I could not believe how good it was. So good. Oh, how is this not a TV show? It's so good. Anyway, there's a lot of other books in this pile. I gotta read them all. Alright, I guess this video's done. Definitely in the comments, get down there. Let me know. I need your guys' help. Again, I'm not a big reader. I need your guys' help to know if these books are even worth my time. If some of these are an absolute waste of time, please let me know before I read it. I guess I'm going to do some other reviews. I definitely want to make a book review on Red Rising because that book is unreal. And I think I want to do one on Neuromancer. Try to help you guys out so you guys don't waste your time reading this book. I mean, if you love Neuromancer, please in the comments tell me why because I don't get it. It's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm hoping that making the video really pushes me to not fail on this. So that I hope there's people that are going to comment on it and really help encourage me to get these 12 books in. Because 12 books, I know, like I said, most of you guys, you YouTube robots, you guys read 12 books a week. I see the piles you're posting. Oh my God, it's crazy. But for me, this is really a hard challenge. I'm really hoping to get it done. Okay, so yeah, if you like my video, I guess subscribe and follow for the rest of them. I don't know if I'm going to do a video every month, but I'm going to try to and talk about these books while I'm reading them. We'll see how it goes. I know a lot of you are probably going to say don't read that Cyberpunk book, but I might read that one next because I love the Cyberpunk game. I think it's so good. So I think I'm going to read it. Should I do it next? I think I'm going to do it. Alright, anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, follow, like, all that stuff. Follow would be great. I have 26 followers, so we're looking for number 27. I'm not exactly going to be a millionaire, but I do like making videos. So anyway, follow me, see what happens, whatever. Talk to you guys later.